Now, the Benghazi hearings were today for those wonkish enough to care. Well, Benghazi hearings was trending, so apparently I'm not the only wonk out there on social media. Some say the $5 million spent on the hearings is an arbitrary witch hunt on Hillary Clinton that should be paid for by the Republican National Committee. Others say, hey, it's cheaper than Obama's golf habit. And oh, by the way, 4 Americans did die, and to some, those lives were priceless. Here to discuss from inside the Washington, D.C. Beltway is conservative columnist Gayle Trotter. Gayle, welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Great to be with you, Dr. Gina.
Gayle, things got pretty heated today. Trey Gowdy opened things up today by saying this is not a prosecution of Hillary. Let's watch those comments.
This is an investigation, which is why it's so sad that nowhere in that stack that you just put up there were the emails of Secretary Clinton, the emails of the ambassador, 50,000 pages worth of documents, eyewitnesses. That's the real tragedy. To the family and the friends, when you're told that there have been 7 previous investigations in an ARB, you should immediately ask, why did you miss so many witnesses? Why did you miss so many documents? This is not a prosecution, Mr. Schiff. You and I are both familiar with them.
All right, well, Democrat Congressman Adam Smith used his time on the microphone to go over the talking point that this investigation costs too much. Here's what he said.
Spent the $4.7 million that we have spent on this. And then even in the chairman's opening remarks, it was primarily a defense of the committee's existence. Not any new information, not here's what we, in those 17 months and $4.7 million, have figured out that is new and different. Nothing. In fact, we've heard nothing, even in today's hearing. Not a single solitary thing that hasn't already been discussed repeatedly.
So, Gayle, what do you say to those who complain about the cost of this investigation?
This was an investigation that we needed because of the deaths of Glenn Doherty, Christopher Stevens, Sean Smith, and Tyrone Woods. We owed it to these families to investigate what was behind the murders of their loved ones. So no amount of money is too great to make sure that our State Department and our federal government is protecting our people. And Hillary Clinton today tried to say that the State Department does not have enough resources to protect our employees. If she truly believed that was the case, then she should not have put our ambassador out there. He was the first ambassador murdered, American ambassador murdered since the 1970s. So if she truly believed that, she abdicated her duty as Secretary of State by putting our people out in harm's way.
Congressman Smith said, though, that there's no new information that has come from this committee's investigation, but Trey Gowdy in the earlier clip says that thousands of new emails and dozens of new witnesses have been brought in front of the committee. Which is it, Gayle?
We had a lot of really important new information today. One of the things that I'd like to highlight for you is that we had an email that Hillary Clinton sent out the night of the attack, September 11, 2012. She sent an email out to her family saying that there was an attack and 2 officers were killed. This contradicted the official releases by the Obama administration, by the White House, by the Secretary of State, and by Susan Rice, who went on the news shows the following Sunday advancing the storyline, which was proven false, that this attack on our Benghazi compound was due to a YouTube video that maligned the Prophet Muhammad. That was not the case. I'd also like to point your attention to 2 other things that came out today. Hillary Clinton spoke with the Prime Minister of Libya and told him that Ansar al-Sharia had taken responsibility for the attack, showing that this was a planned terrorist attack instead of a spontaneous demonstration, which totally contradicted the Obama administration's party line. And then also there was evidence today that Hillary Clinton had spoken with the Prime Minister of Egypt and told him that it was not the case that the Benghazi attack was due to the YouTube video.
A lot of emotions surrounding this, and Elijah Cummings was in rare form today. Here is one of his diatribes.
The problem is that the Republican caucus did not like the answers they got from those investigations. So they set up this select committee with no rules, no deadline, and an unlimited budget. What is impossible is for any reasonable person to continue denying that Republicans are squandering millions of taxpayer dollars on this abusive effort to derail Secretary Clinton's presidential campaign.
Gayle, is this investigation meant to take out Hillary? Do people believe that, or is that just a Democrat talking point at this point?
It is a Democrat talking point, but unfortunately, Representative Kevin McCarthy gave the opposition ammunition when he went on the Sean Hannity show and said, as the singular accomplishment of this Republican majority Congress was that they had been able to reduce or lower Hillary Clinton's presidential poll numbers due to the establishment of the Select Committee on Benghazi. That was a terrible thing to say, and I've asserted in many places that Kevin McCarthy should turn in his Republican Party membership card for saying something. We've seen in this administration, the Obama administration has weaponized agencies like the IRS to go after political opponents. So if Kevin McCarthy really thought that the Benghazi Select Committee was a political operation to discredit Hillary Clinton, he should have resigned from the Republican Party. He should not be advancing it as a good thing or an accomplishment of the Republican majority. So that's something that has to be overcome. And I think when you saw the partisan infighting in the hearing today with Elijah Cummings, that came very much to the fore. Democrats should care about this as much as Republicans do, not just because of the 4 dead Americans, but because of transparency and honesty in our government. The core purpose of the federal government is to protect our national security and to manage our relationships with foreign governments. And as Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton violated all of these immense responsibilities that she had.
It's amazing, the cognitive dissonance, isn't it, Gayle? Thank you so much for being with us. Now, up next, we're going to talk